Hi, everyone. Welcome to Ask Dawn and Donna. And today we're going to speak a little bit about what is a light worker and like what Dawn and I's views are about that. And also talk about what's been going on in the world. This is a huge time for transformation and change. We went from being in a global pandemic, and now in the United States and globally, we're looking about how we can be better people, what racism is, and really taking some time to learn about different communities and cultures in a real way, and not go in and try to save or do anything, but each one of us individually need to do our own work in order to grow the collective. And Donna has some beautiful quotes and some amazing information she's shares from her heart, and then also she's learned. So I'll turn it over to Dawn to kind of just start the discussion from her perspective. Good morning, Dawn.
Good morning. So yes, the job of a light worker. So this is what I know to be true, is that it's not my job to report. It's not my job to say the right things. It's my job to spread the love. That my job as a light worker is to spread the love. And it really is that simple. And to not get caught up in the rhetoric going on and the mixed messages, trying to decipher right versus wrong. What I know to be true is that we are transforming, and that there are forces at work greater than us, but that my little job as a light worker is to spread the love. And so I like to refer to this lovely book, The 4 Agreements, A Practical Guide to Personal Freedom. Because again, in our changing world, personal freedom is what we all seek, is what we all deserve, and is what we can create going forward. I think we all have our own jobs to do in this, our own higher calling, and to find out what that is. And, we started with talking about self-awareness. That's step 1. And this 4 agreements, I think, is a very good guide to start with.
I think so too. I just want to say one thing about the love. Definitely. Love is kind of, for me and my viewpoints and my spiritual work, to tap into, other than to say love everything, that's not realistic. For me personally, I had to go through and mind the things that were preventing me from feeling love or receiving love or taking love in. And then love is it seems basic, but it's so hard for people to connect on that level. And when you connect on that level with humanity, and that you see another person for their being with love and respect for their being alive in this world, and see them that clearly, that is really for me, breeds a huge foundation of where change can happen. And I've always found in my professional work and my personal work, if there is not love there, if there's condemnation, if there is a lot of criticisms or shoulds or prejudices, even more internally, of how I should be or how I shouldn't be, that prevents me from seeing myself, but it also prevents me from having that huge open heart to let things in and out and flow. And I have found on my personal journey with my spirituality, being feminine in this form right now, love is really my path to awaken my spiritual side, but also in the relationships with masculinity and races and everything. It breaks down a lot of barriers just by coming from the root of love. When you can love yourself, and that sounds trite. I mean, it's used a lot. I mean, love yourself, love yourself, love yourself. But what does that really mean?
What does that really mean?
And how does it show up in behaviors that when you're in the middle of an argument, or if you're stressed out and something happens, do you remind yourself like you're coming from a place of love? And it takes a lot of practice. And also I'm so excited to learn these, go in depth to these 4 points about personal freedom, because personal freedom from, like, for me, spiritual growth and the like enlightenment, not that I'm there at all, but that what I imagine enlightenment is freedom. Freedom from the mind and freedom from the struggles of the human existence, that you're still in the like life, but you have the freedom of all the past beliefs and the past constructs. So you're in that moment of now and really live that. To me, that is the ultimate spiritual, physical, emotional freedom. So let's go dive into.
And love is, it's important to love all aspects of ourselves first and foremost, even the parts we really don't like.
I think that's essential. I think you just said the key point.
It is essential.
That is what you have to love first.
If we can do that for ourselves, we can do that for everyone. And this is also a trite overused statement that we are one. We really are. As we delve and grow our spiritual practice, the more aware I am that we are one. That and that love is the answer.
So true. I mean, I think it's so overused because it's so true. But then we have to, like anything right now, I think the world has come to a lot of different awarenesses in the last few months. That's different.
Opening,
and just like
the whole thing.
Okay, what's going on? How do we really? But now is the time, after you have the awareness, you have the choice of what to do with it. And a lot of times you don't know where to go with it. Like, how does this look? Okay, yes, love yourself, love, we're all one. That's so true. But then what does that look like in my daily life? How do I look like when I make a phone call or I'm at the grocery store? And I think those things are where, as we get further in this discussion, probably more practical steps to kind of on that 4, what are they called? The 4 laws?
4 agreements.
Agreements. So looking at those agreements, and you can kind of go back and be like, okay, it's probably a check-in too, to see if you're in agreement or if you're not in agreement. And I think it'll change because.
Well, it is the simplicity. What can each person do in this immensely challenging times? So the 4 agreements.
Okay.
Number 1, be impeccable with your word. Say what you mean what you say. If you make promises, back them up with the actions. Number 2, don't take anything personally. So, of course, the experience of racism is personal. It is personal. But I feel like we're all being affected by the collective anger, the collective fear, the collective news reporting that may or may not be the truth. And I think it's important to not take these things personally, to go inside, to know you. Number 3 is don't make assumptions. So again, in that level of self-love, even the parts you don't love or like, that we are one, that you can love another, and freely you can choose love over fear every moment of every day. We have thoughts and judgments on wearing masks, and if they're not wearing masks, they're putting me at risk. And even those simple judgments that don't make assumptions. We have no idea why that person has that mask on. And we have no idea if that's truly a risk to themselves or to me. Just love them for where they are and for the choices they have the freedom to make. The number 4, always do your best. It really is that simple. Always do your best. One of my taglines is, I love you large. And I really mean it. I have amazing connections and friends that fill me up and light me up in ways that I only dreamed of, and I've come out of the darkness of depression. I've experienced all those things. And I think a lot of people are having that darkness experience right now. But always do your best. There is no right or wrong. There is no right or wrong. Just do your best. We're all trying to do our best. Mm-hmm. And isn't that all you can ask? And so then they added a 5th agreement, which is to be skeptical, but learn to listen. Active listening. Active listening, true empathy is like meditation. It's a practice. We don't always get it right.
That's true. I think our brains, oh no, we froze a little. Let's see. I'm gonna pause this